All right, we're live. Hey,
Hey,
what's up, Brian?
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very excited to be here. We have a visitor here already, so I gotta do a little shout out here. Verk Wolf at Verk Wolf.
Oh,
Hello.
hey, Jamie. Jamie's one of our sales guys at
Cool.
Outback Deck, so
Nice. Get
I'm
it.
glad he's on.
Yeah.
He's killing it
So,
right now too.
ooh, props for Jamie. I love it.
That's right.
Well, Brian, we had you on before, but as you and I were just talking about, it was kind of, I guess it ended up being a personal podcast between the two of us. It was really magical. I mean, seriously, I really enjoyed having you on, and I'm really pumped to have you again. So, everybody, Brian was on before. We had a little bit of a technical issue, unfortunately. And so, FOMO, that was, I guess, between the two of us, but it really was organic. And I have to say that, Brian, you're one of my favorite guests. And I
Well,
think
thank you.
that the Lord has something in store for us today.
I agree.
So, yeah. So, Brian, why don't you tell everyone who you are?
Sure can. So my name is Brian Miller. I'm the founder and one of the senior partners at Outback Deck here in Atlanta, Georgia. We are a scaling business right now. We're trending a little over $16 million in annual revenue this year with a really healthy bottom line. And my business partner, John Gwaltney, and our team of executive leaders and all the folks that are working in Outback, almost 100 now in total. Um, Welcome to the podcast if you're here. And thanks so much for what you guys do and what you bring to Outback and to our customers. It's a pleasure to serve with you guys every single day and alongside some incredibly gifted people too. So
Awesome. But Outback isn't all. I mean, you've got
right.
something else that I think is extremely valuable
Sure.
as well. You want to talk about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, this is a big smile on my face for you guys that are live because I have a passion project. It's called Deck Metrics and another called Contractor Classroom. And several years ago now we started really building out a pricing tool for the industry, right? We did it because we needed it in Outback, but also we pretty quickly started to realize that we had a real opportunity um, to help the industry. And over the last 11 and a half weeks, I've had my head down building the version 4, and we are less than 2 weeks away from being able to launch that to the industry. And I think it's going to make a huge impact on everybody's lives. It really is built to help you get your life back. It gets you to lots of cool stuff pretty quickly. When it comes to market, I will be sure that April gets her hands on the links to be able to send to everybody who's listening today so that you guys can go in and check it out. It's a 14-day free trial, no credit card, no nothing. Just get in and play with it and use it when it launches and tell
Mm-hmm.
us what you think. And then if
Mm-hmm.
you want to participate and be a part of Deck Metrics, then there's a simple way to do that online.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for you guys, and we're going to keep working, keep building the tools. So it's exciting. And then on the contractor classroom side, it is our gift to the industry. We have a ton of free content in Contractor Classroom for you guys. It's a circle platform, which means you simply log into it and you can find it and very quickly jump in there, join. It's a free to join, and there's a ton of free content, all kinds of sales tools, all kinds of marketing stuff to really help with your business. And we also have some live online courses. If you want to do that, you can, but there's no obligation. Come get the free stuff and hang out with a bunch of good contractors. We've got, I don't know, 100 plus people already in there, and it's continuing to grow every day. I think we added 30 or 40 people yesterday alone. So it's a relatively new for us to really launch that, but it's for the industry and it's free. So like I said, there's stuff in there that you can purchase, but it's not about that. It's really about you coming and being a part of the industry and being in a group of like-minded deck builders and contractors who are trying to grow their companies. And they're all in there to learn and grow and become better as people and also serve their customers well, internal and external. So join us in there.
So cool. And so you've been in the industry longer than I have. And
I,
I'm interested to know, I mean, the short time I've been in the industry, I feel like there are so many people out there that are really trying to help builders grow. Obviously, you're a testament to that, but how have you seen that changed over the years? Do you agree that, like, as of more recent years, there's just a lot more available to help deck builders grow their business?
yeah, I believe that. When I first started, and my gosh, I turned 60 this year, so I think I've been at it about 40 years now, and I've been in all parts of the remodeling industry. We used to bump the back of houses out and do big additions with kitchens and baths. And we had our hands in a lot of things, and what we learned pretty quickly is focus really helps. Follow one course until successful, right? That's the acronym. Follow one course until successful. My buddy Charlie Gindel, who lives right up the street from April in California, he taught us that, and so I think back when I started, there wasn't a lot of mentorship. There wasn't a lot of code for deck. There wasn't a whole lot of anything, and it was sort of the wild, wild west. And if you fast forward to today, not only do we have better requirements and better learning and development around the industry, but the major manufacturers, local dealers, and even some of us who have been contractors for a long time have really jumped in to serve the industry and offer training and development and mentorship and programs and opportunities to learn and conferences. NADRA has stepped up, and Chris Breen over at Legacy Dex and Legacy Academy has jumped in and is really giving back to the community. And so, it's nice to see. There's a ton of guys that are really well known in the industry, whether it's just by socials or just by being around other guys at Tech Expo and other places like that, who are also helping. Lots of sites on Facebook and other things where you can go to learn. But if you're looking for something really more directed toward growth and not just an area where you can get in and have a conversation, but if you really want someone to come alongside and work with you, then there's only a few of us in the industry who are doing that, right? But that's okay. There's there's plenty of opportunity for anybody who wants to grow as a person and grow their company to get connected, and that's something that didn't exist 35, 40 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know that a lot of people there's still a lot of folks that I talk to that don't realize that, and so I'd like to be an
Yeah,
advocate to, connect or a conduit to, connect people to those resources. But it's insane how many Facebook groups there are alone,
right.
that you could plug into and get advice and stuff.
Yeah, and
Uh
there's a lot of good stuff going on in there. I think the challenging part about a face group is if you get a couple thousand people going on something, you can get into some negativity and a spiral, and you got to have somebody monitoring and all that kind of stuff. I think in our kinds of communities, I know in Chris's community and in our community, we monitor that stuff pretty closely. And for us, it's about making a positive impact. And so we sort of have a, hey, it's okay to share if you're struggling, but we really have sort of the no negativity, no bashing. We're not here to gossip. We're here to help and learn
mhm.
and grow as individuals. And that kind of stuff doesn't really help us. So,
Yeah.
we're sort of pretty quick to go to people and say, hey, if that's really what you want to do here, we'd prefer that you would take that elsewhere.
Mhm.
This is a group that is here to encourage one another and hold each other up and really move our businesses forward in a positive way. We'll take those things on head on and not shrink back from hey, what's good for the individual is also good for the group and vice versa. And we need to make sure we have some guardrails around that so that people get help when they come
Mhm.
and not discouragement, right?
Mhm. So you have a Facebook group?
I don't. We don't have
Oh,
a
okay.
Facebook group. We have the contractor classroom group,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Yes.
it's not really we didn't really do that because we looked at it and said, hey, we don't want to do a Facebook group. We have socials and other stuff like that too. The Brian Miller and a couple other ones for Deck Metrics and Contractor Classroom are there. But the point of all that was just to say we built it to attract people who want to invest in themselves and really grow their company. And so the resources that are available there, the tools that are available there, and the people whom are there for that specific reason. Not just to have a conversation, but actually to invest in one another and to give things to the group and the organization that will help guys grow as people and grow their company. So,
I love it. By the way, we got someone else here. We have Eastern Restoration. They said we're ready.
oh, also friends of mine.
I love it.
Nice to have you guys.
Great.
Young
Yeah.
guys that are trying to learn how to build their business up there in the greater Philly area. Super good dudes.
Hmm.
If you're in the greater Philly area, you should call those guys Eastern Restoration. Good
Cool.
guys.
Cool. 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 Well, it's really impressive, everything that you're doing, and the fact that the contractor classroom is free. I think there has to be a little bit of a story there that got you to this place in your life to be able to
Mm.
do this. You want to kind of go back a little bit and let us know how you got here?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the big story is when I first started my business my first business I built cutting grass when I was a kid, like probably, I don't know, 12, 13 years old. But my first real business was a painting business when I was 17 years old. And, I learned a 10 plus one step process for selling. And I went out and sold 40 or $50,000 that we went and produced as painters as kids, and made a pretty good amount of money as a kid doing that. And then I had some college pro painter franchises. I had CertaPro painters franchises. I worked for the organization at CertaPro and at the franchise company for a number of years, all the way into the year 2000. Prior to September 11th in 2001, I was traveling globally and training contractors, establishing beachheads in countries around the world, and selling master licenses and training operations and development for those business owners. And around about that time, my kids were starting to get into grade school, and I was missing being around home. So started back into the remodeling industry, and as they say, the rest is history. That was 1999. So good solid coming up on, I don't know, almost 30 years now, in here in Atlanta doing that. And during that time, I met along the way uh, guys who I could only call today, um, you know, business parents, serious mentors who were at a place in their own business and their own life where they could give their time and their energy to help. And those guys, and I'll name some of them because I think it's important. Scott Siegel from Certified Contractors Network, Charlie Gindell, who was also there at CCN, but also ran a very successful RBA in Orange County. Tom Capizzi owns multiple businesses on the East and West Coast in remodeling. Um, Brian Gottlieb in recent years, and Mark Grady. These guys are the contemporaries to the Dave Yohos and the Rick Grossos and these kind of guys who are they are the lore of in-home services. Those are the guys who started it all, the original Tin Men, Richard Keller. And I mean, I owe most of what I now know as a contractor to either stepping on the landmine and deciding I don't want to do that again, or being encouraged not to do so by other people in the industry who just wanted to give back. They saw something in me and my business partner, John Waltney, and they invested in us. And we took what they invested and made the decision we're going to implement it. And so today, I don't work in the Outback brand. I don't work in the company. I'm one of the stakeholders. John and I are the two stakeholders. He still operates the business 25 hours a week or so, but the leadership team really runs the company. We run Entrepreneurial Operating System EOS, and the team really runs the business. And now I get to do this every day. I get to write software. I get to be a part of Contractor Classroom, and I get to give back. And I do that. I hold that very dearly in my heart, but also I don't hold that lightly because I believe it's a calling, and I think it's something that God wants me to do. I think He's uniquely gifted me and positioned me to do so, and so that's how I'm here today. And the breath I have in my lungs is His. So while I have it, I need to make sure that I'm investing back into the economy that He's building in this industry, and it's the least I can do, right? So that's the short version of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But my big takeaway is just being so grateful and appreciative of the people that God has put in your life and wanting to do the same for others. And
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it took me a while to realize, like, why do I have this business? Like, I went to art school. What is this? And then I finally
Right.
realized that God gave me an opportunity to make an impact. Today I was able to promote one of my right hand gal. And
Nice.
nothing is better than that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's
And
true.
I'm a coach for other agency owners. I was down in Miami last week, where all of the top agencies around the country get together and mastermind. And I did a video introduction for my new members when they come in. And one of the questions they ask is, you know, uh, like, what? Why do you do this? And it's exactly that. It's so rewarding to be a part of somebody else's success and seeing them grow and everything. And so I just think it's really important, for a lot of the listeners to hear that, because I also find this, being a coach too, and then talking with a lot of builders across the country, is sometimes people don't realize how valuable they are.
Right.
And so sometimes I feel like a cheerleader, where I really have to say, wait a second, like, you've got something here that, other
Right.
people would can leverage. You've got to own it and give back. So
Yeah,
I
I
appreciate.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
I appreciate.
important, and I think that's one of the things that makes your business unique, because you're unique. God makes us a
Hmm.
certain way, and He gifts us with certain things. And when we walk in our gifting, um, man, the results are incredible, right? So, the book of Proverbs says two are better than one because they have a good return for their investment, right? It takes most of the time multiple people to lift things that are heavy,
Hmm.
and a business is a big lift. It's a heavy lift. So,
Yes.
not trying to do it all yourself, if you're listening, trying to do all yourself is not always the way to do it. If you want to grow the business, if you want to scale the business, those two things are not the same. If you want to grow your company, that's great. You can do that as an owner operator. We call that the cash cow model. I love it. It's awesome. I know a lot of guys who make a ton of money and give a lot back to the community and have great lives that do a lot themselves. And then I know a ton of guys that are scaling their businesses upwards of $10 million because they lean on their teams,
Yeah.
and they learned how to hire people, recruit people, train people, deploy people, monitor them, bring accountability, and get them in a position where they can really help grow the business, right? So my team at Outback, our team, we couldn't do it without them. The strength of all of those guys is far greater than the strength that I have or that John has to really
Hmm.
drive the business. And so, it's incumbent upon us as leaders to develop people, invest in people, care for them, and put them in a position where they can win. So, you know, that's a big part of what we're trying to do with what we're doing in Contractor Classroom, is help other guys succeed in business and in life. That's our missions. That's one of our mission statements, right? That is who we are. We're here to help you succeed in business and in life. So it's
I love
important.
it. I got this. There is another Proverbs. Uh, gosh, I feel like it's Proverbs 2020 or 22. I'll have to find that and I'll put it in the show notes. But it's a beautiful one about giving back. And then Zig Ziglar, you will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It We got a
Yeah.
couple of comments here. So
Oh,
Bobby is here. He says, appreciate what you said about being positive. That's the culture April has built.
that's
And
nice.
then he says, so Bobby's a copywriter here. A lot of my team listens to the podcast so they can learn, continuously learn through you guys. Love the term business parents. April is one of mine. She's probably forgotten more about digital marketing than I know about the industry.
Hey, I trademarked that, Bobby. You just can't just go taking that. I'm kidding.
And I don't know.
Please take it, use it, do something positive with it.
So Hassan said, what's the difference between deck metrics and job tread or builder tread?
Oh, great question, and thank you for asking it, Hassan. We at Deckmetrics are really we are in what we call the sales lane. So job tread, builder trend, builder prime. These are larger business built software products that are specific to doing lots of things across your entire business. Uh, what I've learned over the years is if you can't get to yes, you don't have a business. And the one thing that most of these larger tools fall down at, not by virtue of the fact that they don't want to do it, but simply because of the way the tools are built and because of their focus, they don't focus in on rapid and accurate pricing that you can put in front of the homeowner in a matter of moments and then offer the solution and allow the homeowner to sign with your finger on the iPad and execute the agreement so you get the job while you're there. The industry is wrought with tools that force the contractor to go back multiple times. But if you know anything about, and if you're following April at all, you know this term, which is speed to lead. So the faster you can get to the homeowner who calls you, and the sooner you can put the price in front of them, the more likely you are to get the job. That's the major difference. Our niche is rapid, accurate pricing solution that gets to yes quickly. So the tool is built with all of the unique propositions that you need to be able to do that. You enter it, it connects to some of those CRMs and pulls the customer information in. You walk through discovery and all the other things that you do with a homeowner while you're there in the first visit. You go right to, if you're refacing or you want, you can use the tool to do a deck inspection. And then it goes right into your presentation, right into your proposal building. It has a canvas that you draw on with your finger or with an Apple Pencil or with your mouse on your computer. Works on both tablets and on PCs. And then it allows you to go right into your workflow of building your proposal. It produces it for you and then pushes it to a signature page that the homeowner can sign, and then it certifies it like a DocuBee or a DocuSign. It's called Signwell. It certifies it, so it's done. That's it.
Wow.
I mean, it is the sales process uniquely for exterior contractors, outdoor living contractors. I mean, right now it's focused primarily on deck, but you can put under deck in there. You can build an accessory in there. You can do all that, but you can do that in like 2 minutes. And if you do it
Wow.
with job tread or builder trend or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, right? And it's not really the guys at Eastern Restoration. It's not really like a joist. In some sense, it is in terms of what you do, but joist doesn't really have any visuals. Joist doesn't allow you to spin it around and show the homeowner what it looks like, or pull the skin off the deck and show them the way that the structure is built. And it doesn't really have the same kind of workflow and output. It does get you quickly to price, but it typically is done by square foot and linear foot. In my tool, if you work by square foot, linear foot, it will decompose it based on what you draw, and it will tell you here's how much is materials and here's how much is labor, and it teaches you actually how to read what you built so you know where your money is. And then if you go and produce it, if you have hourly employees, it will decompose your hourlies. So it will take those dollars and you plug in your burden, your labor burden, and your hourly, and it will tell you, hey, the job you just built based on that crew, this is how many hours they have to build it. So you come in on budget, not over budget. It takes care of all the leaking in the industry around price. It
Wow.
it prices down to the actual hanger nail on a deck. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean
I don't know that
it is the tool that's been missing in the industry since the industry started. Like I honestly I like every day I'm pinching that God chose me to do this, but he did. And uniquely um I'm a guy who's pretty motivated, but also I like the details. And so I just got into it and said, we're going to solve it once and for all. We as a team are going to solve it. And I think we have.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what everybody
Yeah.
thinks, but it's coming. So,
Yeah. Okay, so it's coming.
yeah.
So you're leaving everyone hanging. When is that? What is
Yeah,
the
I know.
next
Yeah,
milestone?
so if my friend Eric Fortenberry were listening right now, he's the CEO of JobTread. He would say, "Don't answer that question, Brian." No, what he would say is software is difficult because it's like peeling an onion. So you get in and you start and you it starts to tell you that it's working, and then as you keep going, you realize there are some things in the background that may not be doing exactly what you thought that you wanted them doing. So I'm probably 95% of the way there, and the last 15% has been pretty difficult. It's been a pretty big slog the last couple weeks, and I'm almost through that, and then it's polish. So but I have a what's called a. I'm looking at it up here. If you see me looking in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
it's called the Deckmetrics Launch Board, and it's a phased launch board. So it has on it all the things that are left to do before I could turn it loose to people out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a couple of weeks
Oh,
max.
okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying to get it out the door in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
August.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what the middle of August looks like is
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it's the 14th or whether it's the 23rd. I'm not sure, but that's the goal. I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you guys out there if you would be a new customer, before I put it in your hands, I have about 45 users and Outback, and they're going to be the beta testers first. So I have a launch date for those guys here coming up that I'm feverishly working toward. And once that's done and they have it and I get a little bit of an idea from them how it's working and I finish the last polish, it'll be ready for everybody. But it's coming. It'll be here before the fall. So
Yeah, so that's really good. It's not like you just have any rando people like demoing it. You actually have people that are, in the industry
that is true.
utilizing it.
And I have all sizes. I have some guys that are just solo entrepreneurs that are using it. And then I have companies that have 8, 10, 12 people on the platform,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sales guys and management people. So that's the other thing that takes time, right? Is that I didn't build something that doesn't allow you as an owner or a manager to turn things on, turn things off, show things differently, do different things to help manage your team. If you have a sales team, you need different things than if you are the only guy selling,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need a sales process, but also you need you need a dashboard and ways to look at what your guys are doing and see what's happening. And uh, anybody who knows software knows that those things don't come easy. It takes time. So
Mm-hmm.
we've done a good job, I think, as a team of getting where we are now. Now it's just time, and it's not my time. I'm
Yeah.
walking the path, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to do what Father's given me to do and do it well. And I don't want to jump the gun and get ahead of it. I want to make sure I'm following his lead. So, um, but we're close. We're
Yeah.
close.
Um, so could I put a little pressure on you? Ooh, this is
Sure.
getting juicy.
Wow. You want me to show
Well,
it?
no, well, so I found out that I found out yesterday that you and I are going to be on a panel together at Futurescape.
Oh, yes, we are. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So Futurescape is kind of perfect opportunity to
I mean, that's
release this
September
software.
1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
don't, and Deckmetrics is one of the main sponsors. So
Yes.
guess what I already know, right? The pressure's already on, April.
Yes.
I put
Yes.
myself under that gun. You didn't do it.
All right. I'm holding them accountable, y'all.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. And I do want to plug that for a minute because, first of all, Futurescape is new. Last year was the first time that they had it and absolutely done so well. Um, really, so Futurescape they started in the UK and I think they have Dubai and I can't remember where else.
Yep, they're
Um,
going to have one in Miami in
yeah,
December. They're doing one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast this
yeah,
year.
and just done well. I mean, they produced a magazine for just the event and it's free.
Yeah. Well, they are Pro Landscaper. So the
Hmm.
same company owns them. So Pro
Hmm.
Landscaper magazine is a huge magazine in the UK and in Europe and also here in the US and so, they know the industry, they have the contacts in the industry and they're forward looking and so outdoor living became a passion of theirs a couple of years back because in the UK landscapers are the deck builders,
Hmm.
right? So it's a little different here in the US, but it shouldn't surprise anybody that the major manufacturers are all going to be there this year from our industry.
Hmm.
Trex has a booth and James Hardy TimberTech has a booth. Um, I'm pretty sure that Decorators has a booth there. Uh, you know, Fibron I think is going to be there too. So I think all of these that tells you something as a deck builder, right?
Hmm.
Those guys don't just go have booths for no reason.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and of course Nadra. So I think
oh, absolutely, yeah. Sorry,
pops
sorry,
from
Mike.
yeah.
Sorry.
They had a lot to a lot to do with this, I believe, and they have a nice area reserved. Last year they basically did the welcome party. I mean, everybody was
Hmm.
at the booth there. It was great. So
Right.
um, I recommend coming out for it for sure. Especially if you're local, but I think this year is going to be a lot better. Last year was great. I think it's going to be even better this year, and the venue is going to be better too, which is great. So Santa Monica versus downtown LA, big
Yeah,
difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, this is I think it's called the Hangar, and it's at a local airport over there. But the facility actually is built almost perfectly for this. It's covered. It's a perfect time of year. I mean, goodness, the beginning of September in California, like, doesn't get
Hmm.
a whole lot better than that. So if you're looking to like, it is still kind of a busy time of the year for a lot of people. But if you're looking for just a break, I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Is that right? Am I wrong?
Um,
Is it Monday, Tuesday,
I'm
or Tuesday, Wednesday?
looking.
I
The
think it's the
first and the
first.
second.
Yeah, the first and second.
Yeah. So I
Anyway,
don't
it's
have.
September 1st and 2nd,
Hmm.
right near the Santa Monica Pier at the Hangar, and it'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, we're sponsoring. Deckmetrics is one of the sponsors. We're I'll be with April, and we'll be up there on the deck panel. But also, I'll be wandering around. I'll have I'll probably be hanging out with the TimberTech guys because I'm one of those guys
Hmm.
a fair amount. But also just going to the different booths and talking to people and being available to answer questions. So I'll be present for the days that we're there. We don't have a booth this year because the sponsorship is our booth.
Hmm.
So um, but we'll be there to help and
Well,
support.
last year you had contractor classroom and you had different sessions while it was going
Right.
on, right? And
Yeah,
are you
and
doing that again?
we're not doing that. We are not doing that in Santa Monica this year. We're doing it in Miami or in
Okay.
West Palm. It's actually in West Palm Beach, and it's the beginning of December
Hmm.
is when that one is. So hey, if you are north of the Mason Dixon line, that's the one that you should be also thinking about coming to. It's a lot warmer, and we're going to be actually doing some training events during the show. So my team will be there helping to run the booth for Deckmetrics because it will be way into its launch at that point. and then we'll be doing some training and development for contractor classroom. So when we get that sort of laid out, April, would it be okay if I asked a
Oh yeah,
favor of you to just push that out to your
of
folks and
course.
say, hey, if you guys are interested in coming to the event in West Palm, Brian's going to be doing training and development. Here's some of the things that we're going to be teaching.
Hmm.
So
Hey Jen, you know what I'm thinking? She's in the so Jen, she helps put all this together, and she's in the background. And I just got back from that area, and I was like a little kid kicking and screaming, being forced to leave the amusement park. So, which is a lot to say because I love where I live, here in San Diego. But I got to scuba dive with sharks, and I got to see
oh
the
yeah,
baby sea turtles go out into the ocean, and I got to snorkel right. And I just had such a great time. So I
it's
don't know, maybe
awesome.
I have to go down to Futurescape in Miami too. Jen's like, bring me.
Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
exactly what my team said. Can we come?
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure you
So,
can.
our session is from Leads to Profit: Winning Strategies for Deck Builders. It's September 2nd, and that is at 3 p.m. The
Nice.
location for Futurescape USA in Santa Monica, it's called the Barker Hangar.
Mm.
And off of Airport Avenue there. But if you go to futurescapeusa.com, you'll see everything there. And, register for free. Pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got some more comments here. This was from a little bit ago, but Bobby, he helped me out here. Proverbs 11:25: A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed.
There's a reason why I have this big smile on my face.
Okay.
Right. That's the refreshing of the Holy Spirit. Right. It's just same thing happened yesterday. I got to sit with over 400 contractors on podcast, and I walked out like on cloud nine because that's the gifting, right? Just walk in your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
God's given you talents and gifts. Are you using them? If you're not, start. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what that means, you can communicate with me or April and we can help you learn what that
Yeah.
means, right? And if
Yeah.
you don't know, that's okay, right? If you're not sure, if you're like, these guys are weird, they're talking about God and Jesus, and it's also okay. I was there once. We all were.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's worth a look. See, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask a question or be inquisitive.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And surround yourself with people that will elevate you as well.
Exactly.
I want you to read this one because I've never heard of it. I've never heard it before. Have you? Yep, you're shaking your head. You want to read this
Yeah.
one? This is from Bobby
Yeah.
as well.
This is Ecclesiastes 4:12. It says, "Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of three strands is not quickly broken." Right. So, two are better than one. Three are better than two because I mean, listen, we're contractors, right? If you've had a single cord, you know how easy it is to break, and if you've had one that's a double, right, you know. But if you wrap twine around itself with three, you're not easily breaking it, and that's the idea here. Is if we want to be strong and not break down, it's hard to do that if we're on our own. It doesn't mean that we can't do it on our own. It just means we can be overpowered pretty quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you put two people together or three people together or a team together, it's tough to overpower them quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and you can see that in major sports, right? You can see that. You saw how the Seahawks pushed around the Patriots last year in the Super Bowl. They overpowered them 3-on-1, 3-on-2, right? I mean, that's normal behavior. So this is not a new idea. It's just coming from a different place. Don't be afraid of the word Ecclesiastes. It just means songs and praises, right? And 4:12 just tells you where you find that particular song or praise. It's a
Mm-hmm.
book. It's just pages
Yeah.
and chapters,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you don't know those things, pick up a Bible. It's pages and chapters, right? So find your way there, and there's lots of cool stuff in Ecclesiastes and Proverbs and the Psalms
Yeah.
that point to the reality of what God has done for us in our lives. So let's not miss it.
I love it. And I mean, just pick it up and it's God speaking to you. So
That's
there's
right.
always something. It's pretty amazing how you open it up, and there's always something new.
Right.
Eastern Restoration set. Oh wait, hold on. We already went
I
through that
answered that
one.
one for the
Yep.
boys.
Eastern Restoration said Nadra for the win.
That's correct.
Okay, here's another
Sean and
question.
Yassine. Sean and Yassine doing their thing out there. Good job, fellas. Thanks for showing up, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They also said, is it software that works a CRM, or is it its own CRM within itself? Sorry if you answered already.
Nope, that's a good question. It is not built to be a CRM. It does house the customer name, address, and phone number because you need that for a proposal, right? Email. But most of that is ported in from your CRM. So if you don't have a CRM right now, Deckmetrics does not take the place of that. There are plenty out there that just function simply as CRMs, and I'm happy to communicate with you about that. If you want one that does the front end and the back end in the building industry and trade, probably the most likely candidates are Builder Prime or Jobber or JobTread.
Mm-hmm.
They all have that kind of capability. We kind of set in the middle of that. But if you want, what you really want is to just be able to get a price to a homeowner while you're there, and then you're going to run your rest of your process by hand or whatever you do. You don't need those things. You need a tool that can get you to price fast, accurate, and on point, and it's good, better, best. So you have three options. So you can do that with Deckmetrics.
Good stuff. And we are a premium partner of JobTread, so we definitely recommend them. We have
Absolutely.
a front end CRM and automation platform, so it takes care of everything before going to the estimate phase to prime your prospects to be the best clients, not even just the best prospect, but the best
Right.
client. Integrates directly into JobTread. So hit us up if you're interested. And you could also check out sales-jumpstart.com. Uh,
Hey, don't lose that, folks. Take a minute and write that down. If you don't have a front end and a sales system, you don't have a business. If you can't take a lead in and qualify it in the right way, don't overqualify it, but qualify it in the right way as a fit for your business, and go and deliver a systemized sales process that can get you to a price you can put in front of the homeowner and ask for the business. You don't have one. So April is the front end and I'm the middle,
mm-hmm,
right? You can't do it without us. I'm not suggesting that you have to have us, but what I'm saying is
mm-hmm,
if you don't have help marketing and you don't have help selling, you don't have any output. So
mm-hmm.
you need a way to grab the front end, that's April, and then work with the homeowner and solve their problem and put a price in front of them to do that. That's us at Deckmetrics. Then you need a way to track that and make sure that the money that you actually charge them, that you're turning it into real profit. And that's the back end of JobTread and Builder Prime and all these other, that's the back end. Now we can push that data to QuickBooks for you. So we do that. If you want to live in QuickBooks, we can do that. But if you need a production system, that's what those other tools are for. They do lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
Most people only use 30% of that
Mm-hmm.
capability. There are people who use a lot more, but most people only use 30%. Right?
I think
So
what's important, and I mean, when you were talking about, your deck metrics earlier, it's like tools are tools, but you need a sales process. And
that's
what
right.
does that mean? I'd be really interested for anybody
Ah,
to put their sales process
yeah,
into the comments here, because it's
yeah.
about being intentional and controlling that experience,
So
and
do you see how April is the front end? She's leading me right to the pathway, right? So what Sean and Yassine got to see a month or so ago was they showed up and I met them at a live event where I did sales blueprint training for a solid day. And they sat in that room and I taught the 11-step sales system and sales process to them. I did it again a week and a half ago at another event in Cincinnati. We do that in Atlanta. We also have an online course for it. If you, a sales process is all it is a roadmap. How do I get my customer from they're a qualified lead to they are now not just a prospect or a suspect, but they're now a customer. A sales process takes you from I have a prospect or a suspect to now I have an opportunity to ask for the business, and so I can have a customer, a buyer. That's what a sales process does. You should have a defined one in your business, specific steps that you go through to understand the customer's wants, needs, and pain. Talk to them about how your company solves those things in a unique way, which is your differentiation. Walk them through what you're going to do to fix the issues with their deck and offer them the kind of products that they want to be a part of their solution. Price them accurately, give them the price, and then learn how to ask for the business. And when they say, I need to think about it, or I need to get another price, or your price is too high, the three major objections, that you know how to handle them with word tracks and other things to help the customer work through it. An objection is just a cry for help. The homeowner doesn't know the answer.
Yeah.
So they're just doing what they've learned how to do, which is, I'm not sure. So
Yeah.
they say something like, I need to get another price, when really you just gave them three. But you didn't, but there's a disconnect there. There's something they're not understanding. And so you need to learn how to talk the homeowner through that conversation and help them. They chose you. They invited you to their home. That's what a lead is nowadays. Does anybody listening think that the homeowner didn't go and do the research on you? They just decided one day they would pick up the phone and call Eastern Restoration? I don't think so. They went to the website, they got some word of mouth from somebody, they got a flyer, you touched them multiple times, and they saw something about you that made sense to them. I think this might be my guy. If you don't put them in a sales process, you are doing them a disservice. That isn't fair. That's not who we are as people. It's not who we are as contractors. It can't be who we are. We have to behave that differently. And if you don't know how to do that, that's what I'm here for. That's what April's here for. We love you. We care about you. And we love your customers. And we don't even know them. But they deserve better. So if you don't know what those things are, please pick up the phone and call us, or get into Circle and on our platform at Contractor Classroom, or join April. Get on the websites. Ask us for help. We want to help you. Right? We don't want you to be out there doing people a disservice because you don't know. We want to educate you. So,
Yeah, I think it's interesting how a lot of people don't really put themselves in the customer's shoes, and I'm always like, hey, if you're going after a higher income type of client, like they don't really have that much time, right? I mean,
that's
they're
right.
busy. So talking about a disservice is like, in my opinion, they've went through a lot of decision making to even get on the phone with you in the first
Correct.
place. And
Right.
it's your job to reassure them that they've already made the right decision. And so if you don't do that, then it's like, you're not only wasting your time, but theirs. And they'll respect you for telling
Right.
them the things that they might not want to hear, but they need to in order to make the best decision for their investment.
That's correct. That's one of my favorite phrases. I love that you say that. The customer wants to be able to make the best decision for their home and their budget. Let me say that again. Your homeowner's value proposition is this the best decision for my home and my budget? The first choice that they're making is not the price of the job or the products of the job. It's you, the contractor. They have to choose you first before they can make the decision that they'll buy from you. If you don't build value around who you are as a company and how well you are at listening, how good you are at listening to their problems and coming up with solutions that you help them to understand can solve them, they won't buy anything from you. In the absence of true value, the consumer has no choice but to buy on price. If you aren't the value proposition and the customer doesn't feel confident that you're the right person, you've given them no option but to buy on price. And then if you're the more expensive guy, guess what? You're not getting that job.
Mm-hmm.
And once you leave, 85% of what you told the homeowner is gone before you even get your foot to the threshold. 95% is gone by the time you get in the truck. And 30 hours later, if you haven't been memorable, they don't remember anything you told them. That is data. That's not contrived. That's the real data. So
Yeah.
you get one shot at the table with people nowadays. That's what you get. If you don't have tools that can get you to a price right then and there that's accurate and rapid that you can put in front of the homeowner as a proposal that they can sign, you are giving away money because that lead cost you money and that appointment was even more expensive than that lead. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to talk to April because April knows. A lead has value, but an appointment is more costly than a lead.
Yeah.
And then what about the conversion rate on that appointment? So if you don't know your numbers as a business owner, you could be spending way more money than you think you are to get that customer to yes. And you want to know what those numbers are, and you want to run the business by the numbers, not by your feelings. And not by what we call checkbook management. Not by what you see in your bank account, because it will lie to you. It doesn't know that you have outstanding bills to the manufacturers and the distributors and the dealers. It doesn't know that you have dollars to pay in labor. It doesn't know about your labor burden. It doesn't know about your truck payment. It doesn't know about any of those things. Profit expects you to know.
What's your take on, you know what? Hold on. We have all kinds of comments here. So I gotta, okay. So
I'm
Bobby,
sorry.
no,
I got
that's
'em
good.
really going now. It's good.
You and I, like we could jam back and forth. Let me get back to these
know.
people here. So
Sorry, guys.
no, that's no. So Bobby says, take it easy on my Patriots. They went to the
I
Super
saw
Bowl
that.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
let's see.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So Kevin from Haney Construction said, oh,
Oh,
amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Go. I should have known better than to spin up a Patriots conversation in a group like this.
Oh, look, you just dug yourself in a hole here. The Patriots made
fault.
this amazing country, and they're the best real football team ever.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Oh man. Okay, what else do we have here? Eastern Restoration said, "Thank you. We'll be waiting and just got job chart today. I love it.
Nice job, guys.
Love it. Yeah.
Wicked smart guys.
Oh wait. I'm sorry. I can't remember. You said this is Jamie Verkwolf.
Verkwolf, Jamie Verkler. Jamie.
Okay.
How will deck metrics transform a deck business? Well, that's a great question. Jamie's sitting in a sales seat, so instead of maybe 5 estimates a week, because you have to go to the homeowner's house and meet with them and then go back to your office and do a sketch and run a spreadsheet or hand build pricing and then punch it all into a contract form and email it to the homeowner and hope that you're going to get a yes. Deck Metrics allows you to do all of that behavior in under 2 minutes sitting with the homeowner at the kitchen table. So it's one visit instead of multiple visits. And instead of up to the average deck builder spends somewhere between 2.5 and 4 hours putting their proposal and pricing together for a homeowner. You can do all of that in Deck Metrics in less than 3 seconds if you use a preset deck, and in less than 3 minutes if you draw it yourself. So, do the math. If you're doing 5 a week and you're spending between 15 and 20 hours, Deck Metrics does that in somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. How many more people could you see?
Yeah.
And if you saw more people, how many more jobs could you sell? And if you sold more jobs, what would that look like in your business? What would that look like in your family? Your bank account, your checkbook, right? The lives of the people around you who you could employ. That's what Deck Metrics will do. It will change your life and change your business. It changed mine, just the first version that we wrote, which was a 47-page spreadsheet. And then we turned it into a piece of software that my guys use, version 1, Then we turned it into version 2, which other people can use, and now we're doing version 4, which everybody can use. And like, it's a game changer. So, it will teach you what a true estimate is and where the dollars really are in everything that you do when you price a job. And that makes you a better business owner and a more
Well,
profitable one.
I would say you're making the process easier for your prospect, which they appreciate because, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of listeners that had to project manage a contractor at some point or some sort of
Right.
vendor that they worked with. And it's like, that's not why you hire somebody. You hire them to take care of a problem,
Right.
you know?
Well, the other thing is, the guys outside of the deck building industry who hang siding or install windows, who are exterior contractors who have done a few decks, have probably learned pretty quickly it's easier to make a mistake on a deck. And listen, if you're in someplace like California, and I know a couple of really good deck builders that live right around the corner from April, you are not allowed to build a deck if you do not have a contractor's license and the right insurance and everything else. Same in Georgia. And so if you're a contractor and you have a license but you've never built a deck, you don't necessarily have to permit siding in most of the country to hang it or put a window in, but you do have to do that with a deck. If you don't know, Deck Metrics is built from the IRC specifications, the American Wood Council, the Canadian Wood Council, the DCA, and every other lesson I learned over the last 40 years that's an edge case. And it does it for you. It won't allow you to build the deck out of code compliance. It does that for you, and it shows you on the screen if you are out of compliance and tells you exactly where the reference is in the code so you can learn how to go and fix it. Or it will tell you, here's the 2 options to fix it. So you don't have to know all of those things. The tool does that for you.
Pretty amazing.
Pretty
So just
crazy.
a couple more. Do you have like an email list or something people can sign up for in order to stay up to date?
Can you gather that for me?
Yeah. Do you need a marketer? Because I know somebody.
I do. I do need some help there for sure.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
Stephanie wasn't able to be here today. She's a little under the weather, but usually she runs the contractor classroom, and she usually is on the podcast. Sorry, Steph, that you weren't able to make it, but you'll hear it. We hope you feel better soon. But she usually gets with you guys ahead of time and it's like, can we gather the list? And like, we're not here to market you guys. It's not what we're gonna do. We just want you on the list so when we launch, we can send you a notification, and then we want to be able to invite you to Contractor Classroom. If you sign up for Contractor Classroom and if you join in on the free trial for Deck Metrics, you are opting in for us to communicate with you. So just know that, right? But we aren't spamming you to death. That's not who we are. It's not what we want to do. We just want you to be aware of the new things that we're offering and keep inviting you to join the community because we know it's valuable. But we're not here to pepper you. We don't want your name on a list that we can punish you. That's not the point. The point is, hey, if you're interested, if you give us a way to communicate with you when we launch, we'll be sure that we get to you first and make sure you guys are in. So I said the same thing on the one yesterday, and the one I'm doing tomorrow is just about, if you get on the list now, you guys will be the first ones that we push it out to when it's ready.
Segue for anybody listening to the We Love Deck Builders podcast, you can sign up for text messages so that you get notified 15 minutes before we have the podcast, which is every 2 weeks at this point. We're doing it weekly, changed it to every 2 weeks because everyone's pretty busy, but always open for suggestions if you want to hear more from us more regularly. But just go to weloveduckbuilders.com and you can sign up for the text messages. If you go in the footer of the website, you could sign up for emails too. And again, stay tuned with what's going on with the podcast and any events we're going to be at and so on and so forth. So we've got, let's see, Kevin from Haney Construction. Cereal, who can do anything without apes, by the way. He knows me. Like, not that many people know that that's my nickname, so it's always special to me.
And I know what axe means too, because I know how fond you are.
Just axe her. She'll tell you how invaluable she is. By the way, only 11 steps. Obviously, you've never been to Deck Expo, sir. What was that referring to?
Not sure I understand.
Okay.
Can you
Um,
Kev, can you elaborate?
yeah. And let's see. Oh, Bella B. So Bella B, what's your name and what's your company? I'm going to be very straightforward. I have problems generating leads. Well, that's what we're here for. So,
Mm.
I own Deck Builder Marketers, right? We do the We Love Deck Builders podcast. So, you could go to deckbuildermarketers.com/strategy and book an hour of my time. And I do my homework and I point you in the right direction, no matter what. So, make sure to take advantage of that. Uh, Kevin said, homie, feelings is a huge part of artistic work, if not 100% of it. And
Yeah,
Eastern,
he might be misunderstanding. Just because it's a process doesn't mean it doesn't take into account your feelings. And,
yeah,
and no one, no nobody buys a deck on logic. They buy a deck on emotion. But if you don't have a structured way to help the consumer manage the process and stay in the guardrails, you lose them because they are not great at managing the emotion of trying to make a big decision. A 30, 40, $50,000 deck is probably something they've never purchased. So please don't get me wrong. The process doesn't do the job, you do the job. But the
hmm
reality is if you don't help the customer manage their emotion and their feelings and you don't raise the level of emotion to uncover the real problem and pain and then come up with a solution for it, you're not getting yes. Craftsmanship is amazing and we all need it. I don't disagree. I have tons and tons of friends that are great craftsman deck builders, but they don't sell well. And
yeah,
that's okay. If that's what you want, that's okay. Don't take me the wrong way. I'm not jumping at you. What I'm saying is the process is built for that. But if you don't know what it is, then you wouldn't know, right? So check it out. Check it out and see how it merges with your desire to stay in the lane as a craftsman and the emotion of what that raises in the customer in terms of seeing the aesthetic and seeing the beauty. On Contractor Classroom, there's a free demo. It's called Designing the Dream. It's 40 minutes long. It's my delivery of all the emotion around how you help a customer through designing and architecting their deck.
you
My
said on
entire
Contractor
pro-
Classroom.
Yep. My
Oh,
entire
that's cool.
process, my entire process that's been developed over all these years is built on raising the emotional level in a consumer because if they don't feel it, they won't buy it. So don't miss that.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
sales
right.
is
He's
sales
not,
is very,
Kevin is not wrong. He's
yeah,
right. But
yes.
that does not it is inextricably bound to a sales process. It's not separate.
hmm Yeah, I mean, business in general, psychology, right? And sales is definitely,
Right. Right.
yeah. Well, boy, we've been jamming for a bit. So what's it? Deckmetrics.com/demo.
Um That's a good question. If you go to that right now, it's going to take you to version 2, which will sorely undersell version 4 if you just go look at it and think that that's what we've been talking about today. So the website that's current is the original tool that we launched in the market 18 months ago. It is not the new tool. So you can go and look at it and see what's there.
hmm
And if you're an advanced deck builder, you'll have a good chuckle. It's what needed to happen to get where we are today, but what you'll see coming up shortly is something very, very different. But if you want to go there, you can. If you want to communicate with us, then you're welcome to email us and book a demo
Yeah,
or
that's.
drop it in the comments for April. Give us your email
hmm
address and we'll reach out to you and we'll show you a demo here in the next week or so and then it'll be up online and you can demo it yourselves for free.
Yes. So if you do go to deckmetrics.com/demo, you could book a 15-minute live demo.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, great. And
Yeah,
then
but
you
it,
could,
but if you book that and you try to book it in the next week or so, it may let you do that, but you probably will get an email from me that says, "Hey, I need to push that out one more week." before I can do that for you, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
don't be
But sign up.
discouraged.
Sign
But
up because
Yeah.
sign up so that you could stay in the know. And then I'm going to put your social here too. So the
Oh, that's
Brian
great.
Miller.
Go today. You'll see a really funny. This is a cool video. I've got the swatting flies video with consumers, right? So go check that out. And a
Okay,
couple
cool.
other ones too. So
Well,
we're trying to
people
learn
could
how to
ping
do-
you. I'm sure they could just message
Yes,
you,
you can.
DM
You
you
can
on
message-
here
You
too.
can DM me there. The girls will manage, and they'll grab all that. And I'm pretty good about responding if you're looking for answers. So just do that. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, I'm really excited to see you in September, which is really only a month away at this point.
Correct.
Yeah. So
No,
I'm
it's a
pretty
month and a
pumped.
half. Don't steal weeks from me right now, April. Don't do that.
Oh,
I know you're holding me accountable, but don't take my weeks away.
I've got a visitor here.
Oh, puppies.
Yes. Puppy breath.
Ah, nice.
Great.
Okay.
So, yeah, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yeah. If you love what you do, make sure people know that. And if you're good at it, make sure that you can show people that differently than everyone else, because today's buyer is discerning. They need your passion. They want to know what makes you different, and they desire more than anything a good, solid solution that works for their home and their budget. So, put your best foot forward. Every time you hear from a homeowner is another opportunity for you to be who you are and be at your best. Don't forget that.
Yeah. People buy from people. And, I think positioning is always been important, but even more important now that there's a lot more, outdoor living contractors out there, and, people can get a lot of information. Consumers are more in control now with AI and all of that. So you really, again, make sure that you show up and you reassure them that they've already made the right decision by being genuinely, authentically you.
Agreed.
Great. Well, we'll see you soon, Brian. And as always, keep moving forward.
Thanks, April. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, deck building community. Enjoyed the show? Hit subscribe and give us your thoughts. We love hearing from you. Ready to level up your business? Visit deckbuildermarketers.com. Check out our services and let's build your success together. Don't forget to download our free guides. They're a game changer. Thanks for tuning in to We Love Deck Builders, and see you on the next episode.